Fiscal cliff negotiations have thrown a wrench into year-end tax planning.
True. There are changes to the tax law that could affect you. Jill Schlesinger, editor-at-large of CBS MoneyWatch.com, joins us to explain. And we want to start with mortgage debt.
Yeah, there's some big changes here. Homeowners who have restructured their mortgage debt since the housing crash have enjoyed one big benefit. They have had no tax due on the amount of debt that was reduced or forgiven. Now listen, before the recession, if a lender agreed to reduce your principal or release you from an obligation, it was considered income. So that was before the recession. Then during the recession, no tax due. Next year, any debt discharge will be considered income, and you owe taxes on the amount forgiven. So here's your year-end tip. If you're working on a loan modification or a short sale, really try to get this done by the end of the year, because you could face big fat taxes next year.
That's good to know.
Clearly, I'm going to want to know about this. The deductible for medical expenses.
Oh boy, we are going to have some big changes. Right now, unreimbursed medical expenses, which includes health insurance premiums or things that you weren't actually fully refunded for from your plan, those are deductible as long as they exceed 7.5% of your adjusted gross income. That's the bottom right-hand corner of your front page of your tax return. Now what happens? The Affordable Care Act will increase that threshold to 10% next year, except for taxpayers age 65 and older. So here's your year-end tip. Try to accelerate any medical expenses into this year, especially if your adjusted gross income will be lower this year.
What about education savings?
Now, this is kind of a sneaky one. I wasn't so psyched about this. For 2012, the total amount you can put into a Coverdell education savings account, $2,000 per beneficiary. Next year, that amount goes down to $500. So here's your year-end tip. You want to maximize your contributions to these accounts this year. Maybe make next year and this year's contributions right now. For more year-end tax tips, we are going to be going crazy in the next couple of weeks. Go to MoneyWatch.com. I want to tell you something. With all the changes that are happening, it's more important than ever to really educate yourselves, because there are some great things you can do before the end of the year. And then if you let that slide into next year, you're out.
All right. Well, thanks for giving us a heads up.